Welcome to Walk Into a Bar. This is number 12, I think it is.
Wait, hold on. Am I supposed to be recording?
You are recording. It's
know.
recording. I can see it right there. It says recording. This is the show where you've got three brothers who happen to be professionals. I'm Phil. I'm a lawyer. We've got Matt, who is holding
a dog.
Maybe something.
It's an ice pack.
Who's an engineer. Ice pack. And Ben, who's the preacher and is drinking. Something wrong here. Anyway,
I just wanted a beer.
We are three morons most of the time who happen to like to get together and shoot the bull. So
it's
here we
fancy.
are.
There's a cork.
So distracted. Welcome to our show. Matt does have an ice pack up. Matt had another surgical procedure, sort of surgical procedure the other day, and so he's got
this
an
morning.
Ice pack.
This morning.
Oh man. Ugh.
Yeah.
He's a trooper. He's a trooper. We didn't know if he would be able to join us. We didn't know if we were going to be able to record today. So we're glad to have Matt on. Welcome, Matt. Oh, wait.
Thanks.
You're not a special guest yet.
Wait, I feel like it, though.
No, but his ice pack is.
Yeah.
But
your ice pack is.
One thing to note, my hair will soon no longer be part of this for about 6-7 weeks.
We don't actually know that, though, do we?
Yeah, it's pretty
I'm
good.
going to be cutting it pretty short
here. Oh,
here
you're going to cut it.
in preparation for it, just because I don't want to be picking clumps up.
Yeah.
I get that.
So
yeah.
I guess we'll go ahead and tell people, if you haven't heard, I am the lucky recipient of 2 rounds of chemo that begin the Monday after we're filming this. So that would be the 15th. So I had a port put in today.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. So I'll be cutting my hair in preparation for it falling out.
There you go. Shave them eyebrows.
No, I'm very fond of my quasi unibrow. You just can't see it.
I think we all have the quasi.
Every time I go in to get my hair cut, the gal who cuts my hair says, "Would you like me to do your eyebrows?" Yes, please.
Lola doesn't give me a choice. So, hey, Phil, we've heard what's new in Matt's life. What's new in your life? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I'm back in the office.
Yay!
We've got interns. I'm supervising the interns, which I always enjoy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's about it. I've got projects going on at home. I've got projects going on at work, and just trying to keep.
Tell us about the Beamer. Just kidding.
No, we're not
talking about cars.
We're not talking about that. Especially that one.
That's a dead topic. Let's move on.
Never, people, listen to me. Never buy a BMW. It ain't worth it.
Well, for all of you out in the world, I am batching it for a week, 2, 3, who knows, because my wife is out in Colorado because her dad isn't doing well. So
right. It's not because she doesn't like Ben like the rest of us. She, for some inexplicable reason, Ben's wife likes him.
You got to be nuts to hang out with me. So she's crazy.
Oh, Lola, that's not true.
You know what? Our new song together is called "Beautiful Crazy," and it's the crazy that attracts me to her. Love you, babe.
Wow.
I feel like we should cross them and
I think Ben needs to learn the lesson
can't stand her.
About what you do when you find yourself digging a hole. Step number 1:
dig a hole for
open mouth. Insert foot.
No, there's a song called "Beautiful Crazy." She'll get it.
Okay. Anyway, we want to talk about our movie for the day, and our movie for the day is Hacksaw Ridge. You might be sensing a trend with us.
Hacksaw.
We tend to watch war movies. No.
Pew, 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 pew.
We love war movies. War movies are great. They're better than the real thing, so we're going to leave it there.
Amen. It's just make-believe, people. It's not real anymore.
Hacksaw Ridge is the story of wow, brain fart. I forgot his name.
Come on.
Doss.
Private Doss.
Private Doss. I can't remember his first name now. This is horrible. I'm so sorry. His is a name that we should remember. Anyway, Mr. Doss enlisted in the military after the beginning of World War II. However, as a Seventh-day Adventist, he was a conscientious objector, and
No, he wasn't.
he was a
He was a
conscientious objector.
conscientious observer. In the
Objector.
movie, he said it. He said it.
The term is conscientious objector.
Yeah, and he said he doesn't object.
Matt, what's the first name?
Desmond.
Desmond. Thank you.
Desmond Doss.
Anyway, he was a conscientious objector. He didn't believe that that God wanted him to kill. He didn't believe that God wanted him to hold a gun, and he faced in the movie he faced some flack for that, but ended up able to reach his goal of becoming a medic in the army and thereby helping out the effort that way. And went on to fight in the Battle of oh goodness,
Hacksaw Ridge.
Hacksaw
No,
Ridge.
it's not.
Hacksaw Ridge was in fact a colloquial name for the location they fought, but I can't remember the island it was on. Was it Okinawa?
Okinawa.
I think it was Okinawa.
If you've seen
Battle of Pacific.
if you've looked it up and looked at the picture of Hacksaw Ridge, it's actually a lot smaller than what the movie gave you. Yeah, it's not as tall where they went up. If you look it up.
It's a good
Doing
18,
my
25
research,
feet.
doing my research for the film, they said it was like 300 feet, which is larger than what it was in the film.
Yeah, which would be way larger, but what I saw was what Matt just saw, 18 to 25 feet.
Well, this is a picture.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but is it scaled to the point where you could actually see how tall it is?
There's a ladder, and I'm counting the guys up the ladder and then making an estimate.
Okay, nope. Maybe what I read was wrong. It was Wikipedia after all.
Well, this is a Wikipedia article about the movie. I'm actually looking for the actual Wikipedia article, but we should continue because my wife will, in listening to this, will be annoyed. Yeah, that's the picture I was looking at.
Yes.
Okay, that's. Oh yeah, I remember seeing that picture. That's it's a real life picture of Desmond Doss at the top of the ridge. Anyway, the plot line of the movie is he goes and fights this battle with. Yeah, we saw it the first time. Oh, I see. That was a comparison. Goes and helps his unit fight this battle, and his unit is repulsed and defeated badly during their first assault on the ridge. And in actuality, what happened is during the next few days after that, the battle did last for a few days.
11 days.
11 days, thank you. Private Doss recovered almost single-handedly something like 75 injured men, brought them from the battlefield down the ridge using a rope sling that he made, and saved those 75 men, like I said, almost single-handedly, thus earning the Medal of Honor, which is our nation's highest military award. Very, very inspiring story. I think the movie did a great job of portraying it. As always with Hollywood, they added a few things in. They spiced it up a bit. They shortened the time frame considerably. They made it basically a one-night thing, 2-day battle, which isn't really accurate. But all in all, I found this to be a fairly good historical retelling of the story. They didn't leave out any of the major points. They did leave out a few prior battles that he'd been in. He'd been involved in some of the island hopping campaign. The movie made it look like Okinawa was the first battle that his unit had been in, and that's not true. But it really isn't relevant to this story. He was, in fact, injured twice during this battle. As I recall, was shot once and injured by shrapnel another time. And so a lot of the times when he was dragging these men out, he was injured. He was wounded. So a great story. It is not a movie you want to watch with children. There is a lot of very realistic battle injury.
However, if you have a progressive church, you can watch it at church. If they have the licenses.
They watched it. Oh, they didn't watch it at our church.
If they have licenses.
Nope, didn't happen. Nope.
The VCLI license is what you need.
The famous line from this movie is when Doss is trying to get these soldiers out, and he's said that this is actually what he prayed.
Mm-hmm.
Just one more, Lord, just one more. He'd go and bring one more back in, and he'd go back out into the battlefield. Just one more, Lord. Just one more. And it's a very inspirational thing for a Christian to hear, because that's the Great Commission. That's what we're called to do, is to bring more people out with us when we leave this earth. And so it's very inspirational from that standpoint, from a spiritual standpoint, but also from a patriotic standpoint, because he went there with the stated goal of helping his brothers in arms and doing what he could, even though he couldn't pick up a rifle, even though he couldn't kill the enemy. He wanted to help his brothers as much as he could, his brothers in arms. And so just a really great movie. Really well cast. There weren't a lot of big names in this movie. There were a couple more well-known actors, but they were in supporting roles. The main character, I couldn't even tell you the name of the actor who played Private Doss. I'm sure Matt's got it pulled up, but
he played Spider-Man in a movie too.
Yeah, that's what my sons were telling me that.
Yeah, that's what Alexis was telling me.
But wasn't one I was real familiar with, and so I really like going in a movie and not knowing who it is that's playing the characters, because then I don't get distracted by that. I don't get lost in that. Like I mentioned last week with Midway, I hated the fact that Woody Harrelson played Chester Nimitz, because I don't like Woody Harrelson.
He did well. You admitted
he did. He did a great job with the character, but I just don't like Woody Harrelson.
That's not this week. Move on.
Yeah. So I really like a movie where I don't know all the actors. This one just really great flick. My boys watched it with me, and my youngest was a little concerned he was going to have nightmares. He didn't. They both really appreciated what Private Doss did. Every year when Medal of Honor Day comes around, I'm really touched by the sacrifices that the men who've earned the Medal of Honor have given for our country. I had the very fortunate honor a few years ago of being in D.C. and at Arlington National Cemetery for Medal of Honor Day. And I was present and got to take a tour of the cemetery and see a lot of the Medal of Honor grave sites, and got to see a changing of the guard on Medal of Honor Day, and actually got to witness several living Medal of Honor recipients lay a wreath. And it was one of those moments that I'll never forget, one of those moments that I'll always be grateful that I got to experience. So if you get a chance to see the movie, guys, check it out. I don't want to monopolize all our time. So Matt and Ben, anything else you guys want to say about the movie?
Real quick. And Wikipedia stated something. It was 4 times he'd been injured. Then I'm on another website. Google.com has a little thing for www.army something. And it says that he was wounded by a grenade.
Yeah, that was one of them.
And it was the seriously wounded by a grenade. And he did not rely on someone else to bandage him. He did it himself and waited 5 hours for a rescue.
Yeah, well, and on when he was being rescued, he was on a litter, and they were passing another individual who was injured. He told him to take him off the litter and pick up this other guy who was more seriously injured and take care of him first, and then come back and get him. The 4 injuries may be correct. I can't remember. Do one of you have up his page on Wikipedia? It lists his Purple Hearts. He besides the Medal of Honor, he was awarded the Bronze Star with 1 oak leaf cluster and a V, or was it 2 oak leaf clusters and a V? Anywhere.
I thought it was 2 and a V.
I think it's 2 oak clusters and a V, which means that he won it 3 times. Nope. You're right.
It's one and a V for that.
So that's 2 times awarded the Bronze Star, and one of those was with valor. In other words, it was a very heroic act as well, and I haven't been able to find the citation for that. And then the Purple Heart.
He got 2 Purple Hearts.
2 Purple Hearts. That's 2 injuries.
Well, Purple Heart with 2 oak leaf clusters.
Okay, that's 3.
Sorry.
That's
3
3 battlefield injuries.
So I know I read on it the Wikipedia article about him. He took a sniper round to the arm that shattered his arm.
Yep.
The grenade, and then I didn't see the other one.
I think the other one may have been in one of the prior battles, where he was awarded the Bronze Stars. I think in this action he was only injured twice. I could be wrong, but either way, rightly awarded the Medal of Honor for his action here.
And
No doubt about it.
And 75 seems to be the accurate count, and 50
Yep.
to 100 seems to be others. Did we talk about the actor? His name is Andrew Garfield.
That's right. Yep.
Yep. So, yeah. Very cool.
Anyway, I found it to be a great movie. I found it to be, like I said, accurate as accurate as a Hollywood movie can tend to be. Didn't leave out anything major. And at the end of it, they actually had some video of Mr. Doss talking a little bit about what happened and a few of the other folks who were involved in it. Mr. Doss lived until I believe it was 2006.
Yep.
Yes.
And so was able to recount a lot of things. He had some bigger health issues later in life.
His wife only lived to 1991.
Mm-hmm. He remarried, though.
Mm-hmm.
He'd remarry, but his wife plays a prominent role in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, Dorothy.
Yep. So, anyway, great flick. If you guys get an opportunity to check it out, I highly recommend you watch it. But again, maybe not the sort of thing you want to...
It's another one of those Mel Gibson classics.
It is, yeah. It's directed by Mel Gibson.
It's a great movie. I think it's PG-13, so I think 13 and above.
I don't think so. I think it's R. I think it's R for the violence and gore. It's very realistic.
There's hardly any swearing. There is a little bit.
Yep. It is rated R. I have it pulled up right here.
Oh, that's right. They used the F-bomb twice. Or maybe 3 times. Most military movies are.
It was rated R for the depictions of blood and war violence.
Well, and if you use the F-bomb more than once,
I don't recall whether they used the F-bomb or not. I wasn't paying attention, to be perfectly honest.
Well, with Vince Vaughn, I don't think you can stop. Vince Vaughn was the
but he was a supporting character. He was a supporting actor. He didn't get as much airtime as some of the others, but
he's the drill sergeant, and so
there was definitely some from him then.
Yeah, so he's the guy that's in charge, and so it is a great movie. So watch it.
Yeah, check it out. We've got some other movies coming for next week, and they are going to be a little bit different genre. So if you're kind of sick of hearing us talk about war movies, you'll get a week reprieve.
Are they really a different genre, though? Because that third movie on the list is pretty warlike.
Yeah, no, it's not the same thing at all.
It's not even close.
And Matt's like, wait, what? Huh? What movies are we talking about?
Pew, pew,
He's
pew, pew, pew.
He's out of it.
Sorry,
anyway.
I had anesthesia today.
Whatever excuse you need.
And I sprained my toe.
Oh, poor baby. You sprained your toe. That's Hacksaw Ridge. Go check it out. Probably don't bring your kids if they're young or squeamish.
Yeah. I mean, if you're confident in your kids.
Yeah. Check that out. On a totally different purpose, totally different, not even really totally different. There is a series on Netflix called Medal of Honor. And I want to say it's something like 7 episodes where they actually go through the stories of several different recipients of the Medal of Honor. I highly recommend you check that out and watch that. Goes into detail with some of these episodes that we have. And it's some of the lesser known Medals of Honor that were awarded. You don't get like the Audie Murphy or anything like that. So a little bit different vein. Check that out if you want.
Very cool.
Really
cool.
trying to think of some
we want to talk. We want to talk about another pew pew.
Yeah, we do want to talk about
that was brought up a little bit before. I told these guys that it would be hard for me to say pew pew because, well, we're not monetized. So guns, gun. It's like a car.
I don't know.
But we are going to talk about guns, and I don't know much about this topic, to be honest. I've shot them, I've held them, I know how to use them in a safe way. But I don't have a ton of experience. Like I think Matt and Phil both have more experience than I do. So this will be a less of a Ben topic and more of a Phil and Matt topic. So if you're tired of hearing Phil, just hit stop.
Sorry.
All right,
you
Ben.
want me? Wait, hold on. Did we talk about Hacksaw Ridge, Matt? Did you and I? We tried.
Well, let's see. Mel Gibson, good. Desmond Doss,
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
movie,
Garfield.
good.
Garfield was his name. Andrew Garfield. I forget his name now. The actor. Betty
Anyway.
or Dorothy was his wife's name. Yep, I think we're good.
Anyway,
Anyway,
guns are good too.
yeah, I am currently in possession of a couple. One I'm borrowing from my father. It's a 12 gauge, and then another one is an inherited product from somebody. It's a 22 Marlin 60, and so it's a starter gun. But I love them both.
Maybe we should just kind of concentrate on 22s.
I think that would be a great way to go because the Marlin 60 is one of the two top selling 22s out there, and it's still in production today. It's not made by Marlin anymore.
Who's making it now?
Oh, I forget. I think they still put the Marlin name on it, but I think a company bought them out.
I think you're right, but I can't remember which one it was.
I disagree on talking about just 22s.
Why is that, Matt?
Because 22s, yet lethal, are lame.
Are they, though?
Well, you'll love this topic then, because you're kind of lame.
Oh!
Hey, no pun intended, but shots fired.
Wow.
Oh, that hurt worse than a 22.
Where is the burn ointment? I need some.
Not only did Matt have a procedure, he got burned.
The fact of the matter, folks, is that all three of us grew up shooting a lot of 22 out of an old Remington, was it 597? Is that what they called it?
Wasn't it a Remington 597 Viper?
Viper. They call it the Viper. It was one of those cool black-looking guns, and it had a 10-round magazine, and it was semi-automatic.
If I remember, it was our cousin's gun first, Brent.
Yep.
And he sold it to Dad.
Yep.
And it is still in good shape. So we still have it. It's a good gun.
Yep. So. This was a different time and era where you could go down to the local dump and shoot bottles and cans and stuff like that.
Or just the sides of washers and dryers.
Yeah.
When I entered high school, they stopped that.
It's unfortunate.
Stopped it.
Well, it was.
I follow the rules, people.
Do you? So we shot a lot of rounds through that. And that's the great thing about a 22. They're inexpensive to shoot. You can get into a really good 22 for less than $500. You can get into a lot of ammunition for really cheap.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't break the bank to go shoot it. I was talking to a guy at the gun store the other day whose kids went out and shot up all of his 500 Smith & Wesson and 460 Ruger ammo, and it was a couple hundred rounds. It was like $3 a round. They didn't realize how much money they were costing them. You won't spend that much on 22. I think you can still get a brick of 525 for 20 or $30. So
yeah,
good way to get out there on the range and work on your shooting skills without blowing a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they're nice little rodent killers.
Mm-hmm.
I've been hunting squirrels with them.
Have you been shooting mice in your house with them or something?
I did kill 3 mice this week, but we're not going to talk about how I got them. Mice deserve to die if they're in your house. I don't know why they're in my house. It's summer. Get out of my house. So I have a few mouse traps set up. I'm going to kill them.
Hunting squirrels, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, I this year with my 22, I was able to get a squirrel, and I was able to.
Ben, stop. There are certain things you shouldn't admit to.
I was able to enjoy some squirrel. I don't recommend it. It's not that good. It's very tough and meaty.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are not.
I'll live in Illinois.
We're not hillbillies. We're not hillbillies. I promise we're not hillbillies.
Phil, you've been here. I live in the Illinois. So you know what? If I had to survive, I would know how to kill, clean, and cook a squirrel. So,
yeah, I've got a Ruger 1022 that I just picked up, and it's a great gun. It shoots great. It's more reliable than Ben's Marlin 60. It is. empirically proven the 1022 is more reliable than the Marlin 60. They do kind of compete for that top spot because the Marlin 60 is cheaper than the 1022.
And it's still a solid gun.
It's a solid gun, yeah. I mean, it's degrees of separation. It's not that big. But I really enjoy shooting 22. We've got other firearms that I use as well for multiple different things. But
like antelope.
Yes, in fact.
Thanks for sharing that when I was up there.
Man, I love me some pronghorn antelope. It's such good, lean meat.
So you like that gun, Phil? It's a good gun.
I do.
Okay, Matt. 22s.
Yeah.
Story
I didn't
time.
want to talk about 22s. He wanted to talk about something else.
Story time with Matt. What gun do you want to talk about today?
So I'm actually looking at one of the local gun stores here, Diamondback Shooting Sports.
Or you can killing rattlesnakes?
So help me. If you say you're going to buy Ma Deuce, I'm going to be mad.
No, I'm looking at a Springfield Armory M1A. It is.
Yeah.
They call it
Yeah.
an M1A.
It's actually it's the semi-automatic version of the M14.
Yeah. And it's expensive, but I'm in love.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to shoot one. I thought they looked really nice. Being a 308, the thing's gonna that's gonna be a fun round to send downrange.
Yep.
I'm more interested in this than what we're talking about.
So, but
You know what Ron Swanson says about fishing?
No, I don't watch Community.
Parks and Rec.
See, I don't watch Parks and Rec.
The M1A or the M14, depending on which nomenclature you choose to use, is a pretty decent gun. I don't think I've ever fired one. I have fired its predecessor. Excuse me, its predecessor though, the M1 Garand.
yeah.
Which is a 30-06.
Is the government still doing their program where if you are a member, you can get a member of a particular what is it?
The Civilian Marksmanship Program. If you're a member of a CMP club, you can buy surplus firearms from the government. These firearms come in many different shapes and sizes and many different conditions. Just a few years ago, the CMP got a very large shipment of M1 Garands back from the Philippines. And the last time I checked, which was probably last year sometime, they were running about $750 for kind of a mid-grade M1 Garand from them, which, in my opinion, is a good investment. But my wife doesn't seem to agree with me. So,
well, because your investments look like BMWs.
Shut up, Ben.
Man, we should just get get burn cream for both these guys.
Matt, would you pass that burn ointment up here a little bit?
Here you go.
I feel like he's down below.
He is down below.
Matt,
for me,
Matt is over there to me,
right
which will mean that he's right over here. And Phil, you're down here, which would mean you're probably down here.
So
Sorry.
My wife is all about us getting not a whole armory of weapons, but having a few that we own, and I'm definitely looking at the M14 as maybe one of my rifles down the road.
It's a good choice, I think. It's a very good choice.
So,
all right.
With that, let's move on to our summertime beverage, aka our lemonades. I will go first because I cheated.
You did.
Today the day ended, and I'm just like, I just want to relax, and so I cracked open a sour beer. It sounds disgusting because sour, right? No, but
sours are amazing.
Yeah, it's really good. It's tangy and sweet. It's the Experiment by Anchorage Brewing Company, which happens to come from the largest state in the United States, which is Alaska. So I tried it out for the first time. I really enjoyed it. It's a very, very good sour. Other than that, I have a green tea, and I recommend that from Aldi. It's their green tea, citrus green tea from Aldi. It's a very good tea.
By the way, Aldi, we'd be happy to have a sponsorship from you.
Aldi, yes, we would. And move to Pierre, South Dakota. You would get a
Yes,
lot of
please.
business.
Yes, please.
I would like them to move to Tucson, Arizona, so I could use
They don't
them
have
again.
any stores in Tucson?
Nearest
Oh,
one is in
wow.
California.
You
I'm
don't
sorry.
I don't remember seeing an Aldi in Colorado Springs or Denver. I don't even. Are they in Nebraska?
I don't know if they're in. We've got one in Sioux Falls, so I would assume that there would be one in Nebraska.
Omaha, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Sioux City.
Yeah, who knows? Well, I'm very fortunate that my wife loves me and cares for me deeply, and she made fresh, homemade lemonade, fresh squeezed homemade lemonade, gentlemen.
Well, you're just fancy.
This lemon juice came out of lemons in this household. It did not come out of a jar.
Wait, hold on.
And
Did
it
you
is
grow
amazing.
those lemons?
No.
Doesn't count.
It would be better if you grew those lemons in your backyard.
And of the three of us, who can grow a lemon in their backyard? Only you. So shut up.
Ouch.
No, there's no shutting up.
Yeah.
Bill, you shut
Oh,
up.
see, that's what you get for making fun of me.
No.
Pain. Yeah.
Hey. It's easy to make fun of you. We just look and laugh.
Good
All
lemonade.
right.
Thank you, Gene.
So my wife went a similar route and made me Tang. Oh, yes, gentlemen. Tang.
Hang. You could be on the International Space Station right now.
Well, I mean, I've already got one of the side effects of space travel taken care of in my life. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
you
why
do.
not?
And you're drinking the space drink.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, that the launch of the Falcon 9 with the Dragon Crew module, I followed that like a little child.
That's
so
what we
exciting.
should talk about next.
We'll talk about that next week. We'll
missed
talk
it all.
about that next week. I was so thrilled. It brought me back to my childhood and watching the space shuttles.
Do I have time to catch up on that series?
It's not a
I'm
series.
just kidding. I got you guys again. This is too easy.
It's a series.
This
Not
is
a
too
series.
easy.
You didn't get us.
No, I did.
We're just
'Cause you
beside
thought I was being
ourselves with how
serious.
dumb that comment was.
That just shows how dumb you guys are for taking me that
Oh,
serious.
my goodness. They've got an M1
Okay.
308
Wait.
Winchester
This has been
22-inch
fun.
barrel.
Oh,
This has been so much fun.
It's been so much fun.
But we got to wrap
Gotta
things
wrap
up.
Yep. Mhm.
We don't want to bore you. We've already bored you with Phil talking.
Hey
We don't
now.
want to continue boring you.
It's
So
not true.
we promise that next week you're going to be in for a special treat next week as we talk about a movie or a few movies. We'll leave that up to you. And then we will also talk about the launch that happened just recently with the Dragon Crew and Falcon 9. So anyway, hey, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for being a part with us. We love you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. With that, we just want to say adieu.
Adieu.
See you later, folks.